2024 was a year of a lot of pain, a lot of growth, and mostly a lot of pain. I'm not gonna lie. I broke my thumb this year. I got married. I still need to make it a habit of putting my wedding ring every single day because it's just not. I mean, I've been 32 years without being married, so it takes a little bit used to it. But I got married. I am very happy. But you're not here to hear about that. You're here to see my five best favorite. That's not a word. Gotta work on my speaking skills, communication skills for the new year. But my top five games of 2024. It was a pretty monumental year for gaming. You know, the incessant rumors behind the Switch 2, which apparently they got leaked. I have not even looked at it because I'm really trying to keep my expectations on the low and at the same time keep my focus on what's real and what's not. Unless Nintendo says, this is what the new Nintendo Switch is going to be about, I do not care. But at the same time, we had the PS5 Pro drop on us, and just an amalgamation of bad decisions from a lot of publishers and a lot of the console makers. But I want to focus on the good things, and there were a lot of games this year and some really good ones. Now, my top five list is definitely going to be very different from what you watching this video might like. I want to start out with number five. In number five, I have, and this is going to be a pretty, I think, big surprise for a lot of people. And that is because, as you can tell by my shirt, one of my good buddies went to Tokyo and he brought me this Legend of Zelda shirt from the Tokyo Nintendo store. It is my favorite game franchise. I love Legend of Zelda. I'm replaying Tears of the Kingdom. This is my second playthrough. I beat Breath of the Wild 4 times. Like, I am obsessed, and countless times I've beaten Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. I've only beaten twice Skyward Sword, and that was just because the remake dropped like a couple years ago, but that's it. But in number five, I do have Echoes of Wisdom. A lot of my grievances with this game were that I just felt that the game lacked pompous, lacked a lot of celebration for this being the first game in which Zelda is a playable, and not just playable, but the main character of the game. You know, throughout the years of The Legend of Zelda, that whole meme behind confusing Link as Zelda because Zelda's name is part of the game's title, but yet you never play as her. Now, this is the first game where you can actually do that, and it's just okay. It's a great game. It tried some really fun new things. It tried to mesh what made Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom so exciting and so unique, and mesh it with the drop down 2D Zelda, classic Zelda that we've all come to love. But I was very disappointed that they decided to reuse a lot of the assets from Link's Awakenings remaster. It kind of felt like a spin-off of that game rather than an actual mainline title to the Legend of Zelda franchise. I'm not saying it's not a good game. I'm not saying it was a lazy game. Not by any means. A lot of the mechanics were amazing. Go check out my review if you haven't. But I just feel like if they would have added a little bit more effort on the art style, made it a little bit more different, made it stand out from Link's Awakening remake, I feel this would have been a 3 times better game. And I know those sort of things don't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things if the gameplay is good and the gameplay is different enough. But me, in my opinion, I'm very on art style. I'm very attracted to that sort of stuff. And it just made me feel like for such a monumental game, they could have tried a little bit harder and made it a little bit more interesting looking. I always give props to games like Bayonetta, their spin-off game, the Cereza story. I forget the title of the game. I can't really think about it, but that is a Bayonetta spin-off game in essence. But they put all of the effort in making that art style very unique to that specific game and that story. Why cannot a franchise such as Legend of Zelda, that big of a franchise, not do the same for their female protagonist, the one of the main elements of the story. That's why it's at number 5. It's a great game still. It's really fun to play. There's a lot of ways to cheese it, which kind of like brought it down a few pegs in my list, where it kind of made the gameplay a little bit repetitive. But the ideas were welcomed, in my opinion. I think they were really well executed. There were just some little finagling there that needed to be done for it to be, you know, higher up in my list of top 2024 games. In number 4, I have Helldivers 2. This game, if you have not played Helldivers 2, is because 1, you don't like shooters, 2, you don't like those type of like horde games, and 3, you probably don't have anybody to play with. And I don't blame you. These types of games are more fun when you have more people to play with, people you got to play with, your friends. When you have a party of 4, it's always going to be better to play Helldivers with friends than by yourself or with strangers. I don't blame you. But still, just how much this game grasped everybody's attention and just made everybody into a certified company corporate bootlicker for I even forgot the actual like story elements of the game, but I just know that you're a corporate soldier trying to eradicate the world of angry hordes of bugs and Terminator like robots. But my God, man, just the dynamic selection of ways and that you can kill enemies and make survive your through this game, and the same the different strategies and tactics that enable you to like really create very fun gameplay and hilarious gameplay with your friends. It's just unmatched. You can drop nuclear bombs on enemy hordes. You can request for resupplies, request for better weapons and stuff. And it just makes the teamwork so fun. It's very hard for co-op games, any type of multiplayer games, to make it so the players cooperate. It's very tough for that. But when you put a group of people with the same objective, people are going to try a lot harder to actually play the game correctly and make the game. It just makes the game more fun. And I feel that Helldivers 2 did that in a very unique way, in a very charismatic way, because the story is hilarious and a lot of the quips and a lot of the story, a lot of the character lines are just hilarious. And I think that Helldivers 2 was kind of like catching lightning in a bottle. It was amazing. Right now, I believe they're still getting updates. It's just a fun game. It's just a very, very fun game. I just wish we kind of played it a little bit more, kept with it, but life kind of got in the way, especially for me. But it is a game that I would definitely go back and play because it is that easy to pick up and just get back into it. It's just a very, very fun game that you can just log on so many hours with your friends. It's a great game to strategize, and I don't know what else to tell you. Helldivers 2 was just an amazing time in gaming in this year. In number 3, I got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of things I do not like about the remakes of Final Fantasy VII. A lot of repetitiveness, a lot of hallway shimmying through to kind of hide the fact that there's loading screens. Not necessarily an open world adventure by any means. But the story, man, just everything surrounding the actual game is just so good. The story, the characters, the graphics, it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. And also the battle mechanics. When they got introduced in the first game, Final Fantasy VII Remake, that kind of blew everything out of the water for me. I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based RPGs. The only one that I'm willing to kind of suffer through are the Pokemon games, and even those, if they don't get their act right, I'm probably gonna stop playing Pokemon in the next generations because it really annoys me how bad those games have turned out to be in the Switch era. But when they changed the battle mechanics for Final Fantasy VII Remake, I was like, I'm all in. Not just because it's my type of gameplay, but at the same time because it gave me the opportunity to explore a world that I've been wanting to explore, but the gameplay just really kept me out of the loop. I know it's a little bit close-minded of me to not be able to, play through a turn-based RPG and like get through the story and like really appreciate what makes turn-based RPGs that fun. Because don't get me wrong, turn-based RPGs can be very fun, which is why Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Remake still have those turn-based elements into them. But the way that they implemented both the turn-based RPG battle mechanics with more action battle mechanics was just revolutionary in my opinion. It just made the game way more exciting, way more engaging, and a little bit less of a drag to get through. Don't get me wrong, Rebirth still has a lot of padding, not as much as the first game, but still an amazing piece of media. And just based off the music, man, it's just incredible. It's just beautiful. It's a great addition to the trilogy that's going to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And we're just waiting, I believe, for the last one, the last game. Not entirely sure when that one comes out, but I enjoyed playing the Rebirth. And yeah, I don't think there's much to say about Rebirth. It was one of the best games of 2024. So I technically lied. I only have a top 4 games of 2024. This is where the pain part comes in. I did not get to play as many games as I had hoped for. I was in a little bit of a transition period, which I feel like I say that every year. Like I'm always moving places, I'm always moving jobs, and like I feel that that is just the reality of who I am. I'm someone who cannot sit still. And unfortunately, I did not get to play a total of 5 new games that I fully immerse myself in. So I don't necessarily have a number 2 position here. Just don't think there was a second best to what is my top 1 pick in my favorite 2024 games. And that's got to be Astrobot. I don't know how to really communicate or tell or really express the feelings that Astrobot gave me when I played through that game. It was just enchanting. It was beautiful. It brought me back to a time of when I first started playing 3D platformer games, which was playing Super Mario 64 with my cousins on the Nintendo 64 and just being so entranced with the magic behind Super Mario 64 and what I was experiencing. I had never experienced something like Super Mario 64 ever in my life to that point that I was just captivated by it. Same thing can be said about Astrobot. Just reliving a lot of Sony, a lot of the PlayStation's history through a game was such a creative way to just pay homage to the just the amazing history that the PlayStation has. It's incredible. I don't know. I just don't know how to express that feeling of discovering new things in that game. Everything felt so fresh, so new, so beautiful, so charming. The music, man. Oh my God. It's a game that I just cannot recommend enough to any sort of gamer. Doesn't matter if you don't like platformers, doesn't matter if you don't like cartoonish type of games. If you are a gamer, if you like gaming, you have to play through Astrobot. It's an experience. It's more than a game. It is magic. It's just, oh my God. It is one of the best games I've ever played. And I'm honestly saying that. It is one of the best games I've ever played. Astrobot just it just wowed me. It caught me off guard. I did not know what to expect, and I'm so blessed and so happy that I got to experience it for the first time this year. Just incredible. But folks, you let me know down in the comments below what you think of my list. Kind of lied. I don't have a top 5. I have a top 4 best games, but I kind of want to like throw in a little bit of a wrench there and kind of like really emphasize that even though there were a lot of good things in 2024, it was a rough year for a lot of people and for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to lie. But I feel that in order to grow, there has to be some pain. And in order to evolve, there has to be some discomfort. So I am very hopeful for the future. I wish everybody gets to be loved, everybody gets to flourish. I wish nothing but success and the best for every single person that I've met through this channel, through my career, my journey as a content creator. I've met some amazing people, and I just want to give out that good energy to everybody who deserves it, and just really emphasize on what's important in life. And that's experiences, so not just that, but being able to share those experiences with your loved ones, making sure that you're spending that quality time with your loved ones. Life is very unpredictable. You don't only live once. You die only once, but you live every single day. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think of my list. But folks, I've been True Fernie. Please make sure to follow me on Blue Sky, where I spend most of my waking hours talking about gaming, anime, talking about anything and everything that might interest you as my viewer. Make sure to subscribe to my sneaker channel where I do sneaker reviews. Yeah, if you didn't know, sneakers, as you can tell in the background, are a big part of my life. So make sure to subscribe and show your support over there, which is greatly appreciated. But folks, please take care of one another. But most importantly, in this new year, please take care of yourselves. Peace be unto you, be with you. I'm not trying to get religious, but I don't know if that's what people say in New Year. Whatever. Peace.